Hello, and welcome to the curriculum overview for Newman's kindergarten through 5th grade ELAR curriculum. My name is Stephanie Koviak, and I have a couple different titles for the district. First, I'm the pre-K coordinator and instructional coach for pre-K. I'm also the K-5 ELAR instructional coach and the K-5 social studies instructional coach, which means that I write curriculum for pre-K, elementary ELAR, and elementary social studies. I'm very excited to bring you this overview of the brand new ELAR curriculum for Newman International Academy. Before we get started, I think it's really important to take just a minute to talk about where we've been, the curriculum that we used last year, and why it's necessary to make a change for the upcoming school year. Our curriculum for kindergarten through 2nd grade last year came from several different places. For our reading instruction, we used Reading A to Z. For our writing instruction, we used Writing A to Z. To supplement those for vocabulary purposes, we used Vocabulary A to Z. And for our phonics instruction, we used Saxon. Our curriculum for 3rd through 5th grade was just a little bit different. We used novel guides for our primary mode of instruction, and we supplemented that with Writing A to Z and Vocabulary A to Z. So with all of these different resources that we were pulling together to provide curriculum for you, why do we need to make a change now? Let's take a look at that. The curriculum that we used last year definitely had its challenges, and these are challenges that we heard from you, the teachers, as you tried to navigate using this curriculum in your classrooms. In kindergarten through 2nd grade, here's what we encountered. There was no clear scope and sequence for our Reading A to Z curriculum, so it made it very difficult for you to know that you were teaching all of the TEKS that you needed to teach to the degree that you needed to teach them. The curriculum was difficult to access and use, and there were no detailed daily lesson plans, which made planning a little bit of a challenge. And we encountered some content within the A to Z platform that was outside of Newman culture. Here's what we heard from our 3rd through 5th grade teachers. For new teachers, the novel guides were overwhelming. They contained a plethora of information, and our experienced teachers did well with them. But our new teachers, or our teachers new to the grade level or new to the subject, really struggled with digesting all of that information and getting it into a workable plan. Again, there were no detailed daily lesson plans that came along with those novel guides, and so it made lesson planning a challenge. And all of the different pieces that we provided to 3rd through 5th grade were challenging to put together for a cohesive instructional plan that you could use day to day. But have no fear, we are fixing all of those issues with the new Newman ELAR curriculum. So now that we've taken a look at where we've been and why we need a change, let's take a look at where we're going. This is the exciting part for me because I just can't wait to show you the new curriculum that we're putting together for you. Our primary curriculum comes from Core Knowledge. Core Knowledge is housed on 3 different platforms: Amplify ELA, Amplify CKLA, and the Core Knowledge Foundation. Now I know it might seem confusing right now, but I promise I'll clarify as we go through the rest of the modules in this course. The Core Knowledge Foundation is the original home of the Core Knowledge curriculum. Their website is full of everything that they publish, and it's all available for free download. And we thought about just using it straight off of their website, but we also know the importance of our students having real books in their hands when they're learning how to read and comprehend what they read. So we opted to purchase the Core Knowledge curriculum from Amplify. Now that's where the other 2 platforms come in. Amplify CKLA is the version of Core Knowledge that Amplify published for the entire country. And Amplify ELA is the version of Core Knowledge that they published just for the state of Texas. It's aligned to the TEKS and it's specific to what we're supposed to be teaching here in Texas. So the majority of what you're going to see is going to come from Amplify ELA. However, in each iteration of this curriculum, they did change some of the topics and some of the units. And some of that was not necessarily in line with the mission and the values and the culture that we value so highly here at Newman. So I did have to switch some of them out. That's why you may see all 3 platforms in your curriculum guides that you get from me. Some of them will come from the Core Knowledge Foundation, some will come from Amplify CKLA, but again, like I said, the majority will come from Amplify ELA. Now, in addition to this core knowledge curriculum, there's also some supplemental things that we're using to make sure that we're giving our kiddos everything that they need to have. For writing instruction, We're adding in 6+ traits of writing. We're adding in writing workshop. We're adding in a handwriting piece and a grammar piece. And for your small groups and guided reading, we will still have Reading A to Z and RAS Kids available for you. When you get into your curriculum documents, you'll notice 3 different strands of instruction. You'll see the knowledge strand, the skills strand, and the writing strand. Now there are some details about that you need to know. For kinder through 2nd grade, Core Knowledge separates the knowledge strand and the skills strand just like you see in your curriculum documents. So you'll have one teacher's guide for the knowledge strand and a different teacher's guide for the skills strand. However, for 3rd through 5th grade, Core Knowledge combines all of those into one. So while they only provide one teacher's guide per unit, you will see different teacher's guides referenced in the Google Drive. That's because we're not necessarily doing the units in the same order that Amplify or Core Knowledge has them listed. Now for the knowledge strand, that's okay, because you can switch around the content of what the kids are reading throughout the year, and it's not going to affect the cohesiveness of our curriculum as a whole. But we can't do that with the skills strand. The skills have to come in a logical, cohesive sequence from August until May. So the order of the skills that we're teaching is different than what you will see listed in the TEs for each unit. So please, if you are a 3rd through 5th grade teacher, pay very close attention to what's listed in the Google Drive for knowledge and for skills, as they will not most of the time be coming from the same teacher's guide. The writing strand is in addition to the knowledge and skills as a supplement to the writing activities that are included in Core Knowledge, so that we can make sure our kiddos have what they need to have whenever they take the STAR test and whenever they move into junior high and they need to be proficient writers. The knowledge strand is all about comprehension, and it does look a little bit different depending on what grade level you teach. In kindergarten through 2nd grade, it focuses on reading through listening comprehension. So the teachers will be reading out loud a lot to the kids, and the kids will be comprehending what they hear from you. The beauty of this is that it enables our kids to comprehend text at a much higher level than what they're able to read on their own. If you're a lower grade teacher, you know as well as I do, there's only so much comprehension that a kiddo can do when they're reading The Fat Cat Sat on the Mat. So we're going to give them very, very rich vocabulary and higher level text that you will read to your class, and then they'll comprehend what they read. So in kindergarten through 2nd, we focus on reading and listening comprehension, vocabulary, and writing in response to reading. However, once our kiddos hit 3rd grade, most of their reading is going to be independent, so their focus shifts to reading comprehension rather than listening comprehension. There will be a big piece, no matter what grade level you teach, about writing in response to reading as we try to prepare our students for the new STAR redesign, where writing about what they've read is very, very critical. In kindergarten through 2nd grade, you also have a skills strand that includes things like phonological awareness, phonics, spelling, and grammar. Now, if you teach 3rd through 5th grade, these skills don't necessarily go away just because they're not listed in a separate strand. These skills are integrated into your knowledge strand where it's applicable. So where the TEKS call for instruction in these areas, it's definitely still included. You'll just see it as part of your knowledge strand rather than being listed separately. Although you will see writing instruction in the knowledge strand and the skills strand, the writing instruction that's provided by Core Knowledge is simply not adequate for us to be able to get our kiddos where they need to be, especially being mindful of the STAR redesign that's coming, where writing is so very critical. So across the board, writing every single day is non-negotiable and extremely important. At the elementary level, we're going to accomplish that with a writing workshop format. So you will start off your school year by teaching your kiddos everything they need to know about writing workshop so that that part of your day is a well-oiled machine and running effectively. Now within that time, we're also going to be teaching them the writing process so they know the steps of effective writing, and we're going to teach them the 6+ traits of writing so that they know what effective writing looks like. And as we're going through the year teaching those 2 things in that writing workshop format, we're also going to explore all the different genres of writing that are included in the TEKS for your grade level. To wrap things up, I want to take just a couple minutes to share with you some of my goals for Newman's ELAR curriculum. First and foremost, I want to make sure that it's aligned with the Newman culture and values that I hold so near and dear to my heart. This is always right in front of me with everything that I create for you and for our students, so that I can make sure we're not putting anything in front of them that goes against that culture or those values. Second, a clear scope and sequence is extremely important for me and for you. I want to make sure that whenever you look at the year-long plan, the unit plans, and the daily plans, they're in an order and a format that makes sense. I also want to make sure that I'm giving you a comprehensive TEKS-based platform for instruction. You shouldn't have to worry about if you're covering all the TEKS or if you're doing them adequately. The curriculum should take care of that for you. I also want to make sure it's easy to access and to use. I know how valuable your time is, and I don't want you to have to spend hours clicking around to try to find things. So the format will be a little bit different than what you're used to, but everything will be housed in the Google Drive, and I will walk you through that in a later module to show you where you can find everything. But it will be easy to access and it will be easy to use. Everything should be available with 1 or 2 clicks to get you to exactly what you need. Now the next two kind of go hand in hand. First of all, I want to make sure that I give you enough detail to make your lesson planning easy. My goal is that a brand new teacher who's never written a lesson plan before will be able to pick up the curriculum, teach from it, and adequately cover what needs to be covered for her kiddos. Now, I also within that want to give you enough flexibility to allow for creativity, so that if you have some ideas for doing things a little bit differently, you have room for that. Now, that's a difficult line to walk, but that's definitely the goal that I have. Enough detail to make your planning easy, but enough room for flexibility to allow for your creativity. That brings us to the end of our curriculum overview for our new ELAR curriculum. Now, as we go through the rest of the modules in this course, you will go into each one of those different pieces of our curriculum in much more detail. So hopefully by the time you get to the end of the course, you will be ready to jump in and start teaching your kiddos in August. However, you may have questions right now, and that's okay. If you do, you can email me, call me, or text me. My email address and my phone number are both on the screen, and you are always welcome to reach out to me if you have any questions. I will do whatever I can to help you, and I'm excited to see you in the next module.